Greetings and welcome back to Rennie Unhinged post Super Bowl 55 edition. And what you may notice immediately is that I have worn this shirt in a previous video before. I have no creativity. I only wear like 6 shirts on the regular. What can I say? So, what did I think of the game last night other than feeling depressed for most of the night through I would say 3/4 of action. Well, first of all, I don't remember specifically watching Super Bowl 48, where apparently it was a beatdown of epic proportions by the Legion of Boom against Peyton Manning's high-powered Broncos offense. I didn't watch much of it. I was young and we had a Super Bowl party and I was playing with the kids, so I was busy doing kid stuff. Since Super Bowl 49 and 50, I have actively watched, and Super Bowl 50 is pretty similar. Not since Super Bowl 50 have I seen such a high-powered offense get absolutely stymied the way the Kansas City Chiefs were yesterday. I saw something that's pretty funny to put in perspective. Taylor Heineke, the starting quarterback for the Washington FKA Redskins, in the wild card weekend, the super wild card weekend, scored more touchdowns, it was either 2 or 3, than Patrick Mahomes against that Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. This must go to show how good the Packers' offensive line is, because Aaron was under duress. He was not under that kind of duress when we played them 2 weeks ago. I saw another stat that said Patrick Mahomes ran 497 yards throughout the night, running away from the Buccaneers defense. Let me say that again. 497 yards away from the Buccaneers front. That offensive line was made of toilet paper yesterday. They were literally, it's the paper you run through onto the football field is what that Chiefs offensive line was yesterday. I mean, oh my gosh, they were completely outmatched in the trenches, and it just went on from there. You know what? You know why? You know how you can tell, other than just a basic eye test, that the Chiefs were just outmatched in the trenches? Their number one play of success that I think they ran probably a good 5 times and averaged at least 10 yards on were draws. Draws work very well when you have a very hyper pass rush that just rushes just with reckless abandon, just pin their ears back and they're after the quarterback, because as soon as they get downhill, you just hand the ball off and you run past only about 1 or 2 defensive linemen. That's the whole point of a draw. That was their number one play through most of the game. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire was having a field day off of it. But all for nothing, as you saw, it just ended up in 9 points. It was not the offensive show that we had planned on seeing. There was more offense in last year's Super Bowl with a Kyle Shanahan system. And the Kyle Shanahan system is nothing but outside zone runs and play action. And there was more offense in last year's Super Bowl. Just the same type of defense. The same get after the quarterback, get downhill, and get his ass down. The same type of pass rush that the Niners used. And I think Shaq Barrett was on. No, it was Quan Alexander. He was on that Niners team, and I think he's in New Orleans now. I thought he was on the Buccaneers, but I'm mistaken. The same type of pass rush led by Nick Bosa and Fred Warner. It was just like, you see that guy with the football? Let's kill him. It's the same type of pass rush, and it led. Patrick Mahomes has now played in 2 Super Bowls in his young career, and he has 4 interceptions in 2 Super Bowls. I'd hate to say he might be turning into an Aaron Rodgers story, but Aaron Rodgers has only played in 1 Super Bowl and he's a Super Bowl MVP. I mean, that's great success in the Super Bowl. It's a matter of getting to the Super Bowl. But I can't really say that because this is the first time we've ever seen Patrick Mahomes look like an ordinary QB who can't be superhuman. Even though I don't want to be like one of those people that just makes the goes hype over the most basic of throws. There are some throws that Mahomes make that are okay, but the sports media and people that are just Super Mahomes fan will just go crazy over. It just happens because he's the guy right now. That just happens. Patrick Mahomes threw a throw where he was in the air doing a Superman fly. Okay? He threw a pass that covered at least 25 yards with no feet. The man was horizontal. Not only did he didn't have feet on the ground, he was horizontal. It got knocked down, but still, it's like these throws were incomplete, but it still makes you look and go, well, if somebody's going to complete it, it's going to be this guy. And I don't want to be that guy that goes crazy, but I mean, when a guy throws a pass and he looks like he's diving to catch the pass, but he's throwing it because you're under that kind of pressure, there's some credit that needs to be there. He still is the best arm talent I've ever seen. He's the new Rodgers in that regard, and he showed that yesterday. But what he also showed is that no matter how good your arm talent is, you want protection and you need to be comfortable, and it helps to be comfortable to actually make plays happen. Now on to the Tampa side. They bullied offensively and defensively this Kansas City team. This team played like a team who knew they were going to get to the Super Bowl and knew that they were playing it at home. They came to play. That was clear from the first couple drives. You pissed Tom Brady off after he went down 3-0, and he came back and he laid 21 points before halftime, and the Chiefs only had 6. What else do you say? The Chiefs were completely dominated on every aspect of the ball. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The Chiefs had a couple good kick returns. That's all they did well. Patrick Mahomes, I don't even think made the 50% mark completion percentage. No touchdowns, 2 picks. That's not good. That's the best arm talent in the league, but that's not good. And you're going to hear him get a pass for that because of that pass rush, but this is the Super Bowl, man. You've got to be able to do something a little bit better than that. And as far as Tom Brady goes, Tom Brady was sacked, I think, once, but he was comfortable most of the night. That Chris Jones pass rush was not getting anywhere near him. And plus the fact that Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette could pick up 8 yards at will. The only time they didn't is when they got stuffed at the goal line. They were running the ball at will. Gronkowski wide open on a couple touchdowns. Leonard Fournette bouncing one outside, taking it to the house. And Antonio Brown open on an angle route. Or a little dig route in the end zone. There's their 4 touchdowns. Nothing spectacular. No spectacular throws by any stretch of the imagination. I have to make something very clear. Because if you say one thing in this regard, it's a touchy subject when you talk about Tom Brady. Because you're expected to just attribute 7 Super Bowl rings as the best that's ever played the game. But then on the other hand, you have to distinguish the fact that there are better people who have played his position. There are better athletes that have played his position. There's people that can throw the ball better at his position that have played. Several of them play in the league now. But no athlete, maybe Michael Phelps, is the only athlete that is more decorated in his particular sport than Tom Brady. Period. You cannot deny that. But on that same token, you can say he's the most decorated athlete in his sport, and we probably will never see another quarterback with 7 Super Bowls. I don't think we ever will. The only hope that we had just got his ass kicked on the field last night. Said MJ had 6. He's gone past MJ. Michael Phelps has like 27 medals, gold medals. So that might be the only athlete that is better in his particular sport than Brady is. But you have to clarify that when you say that there are better quarterbacks to play the position from a talent perspective. You have to be able to make that distinction. If you can't make that distinction and admit, yes, Tom Brady is he's the most decorated quarterback of all time, and by that regard is the best player to play his position. But at the same time, you have to be able to look at his play style and say, okay, there are players who can throw the ball better than he can. There are players that are more mobile than he is. There are players that can make better throws than he can. There's a clear distinction there. So with that being said, Tom Brady did nothing special yesterday, but he did everything well. He did what he had to do to win, but he didn't do anything spectacular. Watching Patrick Mahomes run for his life and making throws like that, spectacular. Watching Tom Brady, very rhythmic, got into a groove, was never thrown off his groove, made the throws he needed to make. You can't knock him for that, but he didn't do anything spectacular. He did not do anything to warrant him winning the MVP of Super Bowl 55. This is where I get unhinged, people. There's a reason I just spent that probably 2-minute time span making the distinction between he's the most decorated athlete in his position, but there are better people to throw the ball. There's a reason I made that distinction. That's because Tom Brady played a good game yesterday. He did what he had to do to win. He played a very sound game, a very fundamentally sound game. He did everything well. However, Devin White, Shaq Barrett, Leonard Fournette, and Rob Gronkowski all did more in their respective positions to affect the game than Tom Brady did. Devin White should have been the Super Bowl MVP. Full stop. Right there. He should have been the Von Miller of Super Bowl 50. Why is it that when Cam Newton and Peyton Manning are in the Super Bowl and the most high-powered offense all season is shut down, the Super Bowl MVP goes to the leader of the defense? Not only leader of the defense, the guy that led that defense in sacks in that game. But when Tom Brady's the team that wins, why does it not go to the guy that had an interception, don't know if he had a sack, but batted down like at least 3 passes? Him and Shaq Barrett were wreaking havoc in the backfield with QB pressures and could not let the Chiefs get any offense whatsoever. Why is he not recognized as the MVP of that game? You've got to be kidding me. And I knew it was going to happen too. I said Tom Brady should not be the MVP of the Super Bowl. But I knew he was going to be. Because that's what they do. They gave him the MVP of 51. When I think it should have been James White. The man was responsible for 18 points by himself. Maybe more than that. But I think he had 3 touchdowns and a 2-point. 18 points, 3 touchdowns. I mean, you just snub these guys in favor of Tom Brady. That part's annoying. And I'm going to say something that it pains me to say. Congratulations to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and to Tom Brady on your 7th ring. But I will also say this. Tom Brady was not the reason they won that Super Bowl yesterday. He was a part of it, but he was not the reason. Because if the Chiefs had been able to get on a roll and get some offense going, then it would have been a shootout, and 31 points wouldn't have been enough to win. But that defense never gave the Chiefs footing, which is why Devin White should have been the MVP. Leader of that defense. Now, the Bucs were smart this season, and once they got a quarterback, they went all in and got everybody they needed. They didn't leave any roster spot to chance. The Bucs have a stacked roster. They had a good roster with Jameis under center. They had a stacked roster when they brought in Tom Brady. Now, I don't think Tom Brady's the exclusive reason that they won the Super Bowl this season and even winning this season, because with that particular roster, any competent signal caller and any competent quarterback under center. Just a couple names off the top of my head. Deshaun Watson, Aaron, not really Drew because he's kind of fallen off. Maybe even a Stafford. Competent quarterbacks like that with a team that loaded should have been able to do what Tom Brady did. It would have almost been sad if Tom Brady did not win the Super Bowl with the roster that he had. This is by far the best roster he's ever won a Super Bowl with. Period. Full stop. You can't take anything away from the fact that he's done it 7 times, but you can make the distinction that he was not the reason they won yesterday. He was a reason. He was not the reason. So all in all, congrats to the Bucs. Congrats to the Bucs on winning Super Bowl 55. Tom Brady on his 7th, but not on Tom Brady winning the MVP. He should not have been. So, thanks for watching RJ Rennie Unhinged in this episode of Super Bowl 55, and we will talk to you guys next time.